And we're back on The Man in the Arena. It's been a great show so far. It's only going to get better from here. I'm Rick Fatscher, along with Pat O'Rourke and Heidi Felix, Vice President of Sales, LifeVac. Heidi, you've been talking to me about Ed Kosiak for quite some time.
Yeah.
I know that you guys did something magical in Washington, but tell us about how you met Ed.
Well, actually, I met Ed through another charity called the Peyton Walker Foundation. Julie Walker lost her daughter, unfortunately, in sudden cardiac arrest. And I had the pleasure of working with Bill Odoms, who was a gentleman who did CPR training for them. And he looped me in with Ed probably about 2 years ago, right? I'm thinking, Ed. He's actually...
Yeah. It spoiled the surprise. Ed
Sorry.
Kosiak joins us from the mountains on a lake in a kayak with a paddle. Ed Kosiak. Welcome to the show, sir.
He's the best.
Hey guys, how's everybody today?
Everybody's great.
Amazing. He's just a dynamo. So Ed single-handedly coordinated the 5th annual National CPR and AED rally in Washington, D.C. We spent 3 days together, and it was just amazing. I mean, there was not a dull moment, right? I mean, we had no downtime. From the meet and greet, getting a chance to meet all the people that were participating. There was hundreds of people that were survivors. There was people that were there advocating for CPR and AEDs who unfortunately lost loved ones like me. And unfortunately, my father did pass from sudden cardiac arrest. So I'm a big advocate for hands-on CPR and AEDs. And so Ed goes across the entire country and trains for his charity that is called Every Second Counts.
Every second counts. And Ed, I want you to bring us back to March 12th, 2019. That was, it says a normal day, but far from it after what happened. So take it away.
Sure. So back in that day, I was a normal 51-year-old guy. I was trying to stay fit. I was running marathons, doing a lot of yoga, in really good shape. A sudden cardiac arrest was the furthest from my mind. I never even knew about it, and I heard about it, but didn't really understand it. That day, I had run 10 miles. I did some hot yoga, and I was just craving Chick-fil-A.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't
I don't know what it was.
crave Chick-fil-A? Of
And
course.
so then
It's
I
very
ended
delicious.
up going there. My wife didn't want to go there. So I talked her into going. So we went. We got there about 2 o'clock or so. Everything was fine. I was doing great. And all of a sudden, I got sweaty. I got clammy. I got dizzy. And I said, oh, I better get out of here. I need some water. I need some fresh air. I need something. I started to attempt to get up, and I just collapsed. And that's all I remembered.
You went out.
And then I went out, and then everything has happened was been told to me from my wife, from the people that were there, the young lady who saved my life, my Sarah. My guardian angel, I call her.
Yes.
Sarah saved your life.
Came out
So
of the kitchen
at the Chick-fil-A.
At Chick-fil-A. I'm at Chick-fil-A on the floor.
And she's a high school girl at the time.
I collapsed on the floor. The manager yelled, does anybody know CPR? There was one girl in the kitchen, my Sarah Van Rokel. She
All right,
ran
Sarah.
out there,
Shout out.
jumped on me, started doing compressions. She knew I was in VFib. She was 18 years old. She was in a medical program, so she knew what to do.
And the AED kind of walks, for those that aren't familiar, walks one through the steps, but it is so great that someone had the confidence and the training to know how to take care of you and save your life.
With this, there was no AED there.
Oh.
Right.
So
She did
Sarah
hands-on.
did compressions by herself.
No kidding.
For the EMS was called. She stayed there by herself. No one else helped her. 5 minutes at least, compressions. Firemen luckily got there in time. Shocked me 3 times, nothing. The 4th shock, they got a rhythm back.
Incredible.
We had the pleasure of meeting Sarah, and she related the story. She's now a paramedic, so she's a pretty incredible person. She was there for the rally, and she said it was definitely one of the scariest things that she's ever experienced in her life.
Now, Ed, at this point, are you in first aid, or do you have any training before this?
No, no. Like I said, this is
Just a normal 51-year-old.
Out there, a lot of people don't think it's going to happen to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't feel there was a need to have to know it. But my tune has changed, as you can see.
Yeah.
Now, is this your full time at this point?
No,
Every
I live
second
in
counts?
Florida. I'm a real estate broker.
Okay.
After I survived, I did some soul searching and trying to figure out where I fit in this whole circle. And I realized when I was in that Chick-fil-A restaurant, there must have been 40 people in that. Only one person came to help me. And it really bothered me because I was like, what is wrong with people? Why can't they come and help? What if that was a brother, uncle, a son, a cousin?
Right.
When you hope that somebody would come help?
We hear this a lot with LifeVac stories of saving. In fact, Ray Priebe.
So I got involved with passing a law in Florida where all high school kids have to know CPR. I was on cloud nine.
Wow.
It felt really good. There was a whole bunch of us advocates in Florida. I was on such a high. I went and bought a camper, and I decided to go across the country, all 48 states, and teach CPR across the nation.
Amazing.
And it was a wonderful trip, seeing things I had never seen in my life because I always talked about going, but I always say, hey, I got tomorrow. We got another time for that.
Yeah.
But
Now
I'm
tell us
telling you, people, we don't.
Tell us about this latest trip that Heidi joined you on down in Washington, D.C. Because we were there a couple weeks earlier, but I loved the story.
Yeah, so 5 years ago, I ended up in D.C. when I was doing my social. I said, this is the place that we have to make some noise so people can start listening, especially our lawmakers, that will understand we need more AEDs. We need more CPR training. And so the first year, I went by myself. Second year, I was by myself. Then the third year, I finally figured out if I was going to invite people, I wanted to have a space. I wanted parking, a hotel. So it would be an easy, when people came, it was easy for everyone to participate. So this is the 5th year. The first year we had 100 people. The third year we had 100. Last year we had about 150. This year we had about 250. And it's growing every year.
Mm-hmm.
And we do it every year, June 1st through June 7th for CPR AED Awareness Week. They gave us that platform and nobody's ever used it. So I said, why don't we use it? And we're going to use it at the nation's capital.
And we're literally there. We're at the Capitol. And what I loved is the congresswoman who came out that you worked with on that bill. And she was talking about what you did in Florida.
No, she was with the Heart Act. She wasn't on the bill.
Oh, she wasn't on that bill. She was on the AED bill, right?
Yeah.
So talk about your website and the foundation. Where can people?
So after I want to know where I fit in. So the CPR, because I want more people in the public to understand that you do not have to be certified to save a life. You do not have to. You cannot. People are afraid of AEDs. They look at AEDs in a box and they don't think it's for them to touch.
Hmm.
People got to start understanding. The EMS response times anywhere from 8 to 12 minutes in any given city. I don't care where you go. But if a person's down, laying there for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, what's going on? And if 911 calls, is anybody doing anything in between? The reason I'm alive is because my Sarah jumped into action and started those compressions. And she kept the oxygen flowing, the blood flowing, and luckily, 1 out of 10 that survives a cardiac arrest, and everything went well, but that's never the case. And we need to change that by more bystanders helping out. Because once our paramedics and firemen get there, they'll take over. But it's those important moments between that is what's going to help change the survival rates.
It's incredible.
You were trying to set a record, right? How many people did we train that day at the Washington Monument?
We had about 1,000. Last year we did 1,800. And what that really consists of is to get people involved in the urgency of getting down. We do a minute of compressions, 5 seconds in between, get the next people in there.
Wow.
So it's a continuous relay all day long. And
fantastic. Ed,
we're just wanting people to know that there's an urgency. If someone's laying on the ground, we got to move. We got to act. We can't mess around.
yeah.
So that's the whole idea behind it. It's great to get a record, but it's the idea of getting the importance of awareness out there.
Well, Ed, we help you raise awareness tonight, and we will pledge to continue with Heidi's help and with the whole LifeVac team behind you. We're going to be there with you next year. And we thank you so much for joining us tonight. Ed Kosick, everybody.
Good job, Ed. Thank you.
Great stuff, Ed. Be right back with more of The Man in the
All right,
Arena
love you guys.
after this
Thank
break.
you
Love
so
you too.
much.
Protect your family. Buy LifeVac now.
Thank you, Dad.
That was us over 10 years ago.
Now, LifeVac is responsible for saving over 4,000 lives from choking.
In the time it takes you to pick up the phone and call, another life could be saved.
The LifeVac saved my life in 1 to 2 seconds.
Protecting families has always been our mission. I'm sure you love your family like I love my daughter. Do us all a favor and get your own life back now.
Go to lifevac.net or call 877-LifeVac. Order now.
It's no joke when you choke, so get LifeVac and live. Without breath, there'll be death. So get LifeVac and live. Get LifeVac and live. Get LifeVac and live.
LifeVac and live.
Get LifeVac and live. Words to live by. Hello, everyone. My name is Rick Fatscher. This is The Man in the Arena. I am joined, as always, by Arthur Lee. Tonight, special guest,
Steve Oliveri,
Steve
baby.
Oliveri, and of course, Patrick O'Rourke is always
Love
with us.
Patrick O'Rourke.
Arthur-
He's already lining up Brady Bunch episodes.
That's right.
To lead our way.
A Bobby Brady party.
Now-
Oh, yeah.
You had a passion for tonight's topic. I think we all, in talking about the preparation for the show, talked about caring for our loved ones, our family.
Well, it's like most of these shows, right? And why I was joking with Pat about the Brady Bunch, we used to have lessons in life, right? So the accumulation of events happening in my head, right? So the book is Sorry Can is a Lie, getting rid of that word in your vocabulary so you see what you can do, right? And the problem is it becomes very habit forming. Hey, you want to play cards tonight? I can't.
Yeah.
But you didn't even think about it. And if you did, because you couldn't use that word, you'd say, I could do that report in the morning. Yeah, I haven't seen Bill in ages. I want to play, right? So it's that hesitation in the micro. In the bigger picture, since it's so easy, we use it all the time. So I experienced this. Stevie, the incredible Oliveri,
Operations manager at LifeVac.
you may have seen
he does
him.
it all.
You may have seen him in movies and TV.
Yes.
Or maybe not. But more importantly, this clip from Jim Brewer is stimulated this whole thought, and that's why Stevie's here.
Yeah, Jim Brewer, local comic. We've kind of grown up with him, like from a very early age. But then he started to share some of his things that were going on with his family. I remember him sharing childhood or childbearing.
Have you?
I've met him once or twice. Yeah,
Nice guy, right?
Yeah, yes. Yep.
He's like I love his shows. He's clean,
Yeah.
you know, but he's hysterical.
A lot of energy. Yes.
A lot of energy.
Yeah. So let's hear Jim Brewer. A small clip, Bobby.
Not the easiest thing in the world to take care of elderly, especially if they're your own, because you're still attached to this is my mom and this is my dad and my father shouldn't be this way and my mother shouldn't be this way. This is not the way it's supposed to be. So you get caught up in that. My dad, they didn't know if it was a mini stroke. It wasn't a mini stroke. I think the worst part was when he had the bad reaction to medicine. He was done. They'd stuck him in the hospital a couple days and he came back and he was off. And everyone was like, he needs a 24-hour nurse. You need help. And during that time, the decision was he's going to have people come and take care of him. He was definitely embarrassed to have someone else scrubbing him. I could tell this was more of a convenience for everyone who just didn't want to deal. I had to make a decision where, all right, is this really right? Or is he going to get so much more out of, I'm committing to this, get everyone out of here, I will do this. How hard can it be to wash him? And I tell you, it was the beginning of one of the greatest experiences of my life.
Hey, Jude.
And the minute I said, I can do this, and I'll make it a project, and I'll do it my way, and I'll find out what makes him comfortable.
Golf just came out with their brand new color, the Dark Forest, in their air.
Enough
know
of
what
the
that is, but-
advertisement that I
But
get inundated with.
Here's the thing, right? And me and you are going to be able to talk about this. You guys chime in, but I was unable to make that decision. I hope I would have had the courage to say I'll do it, but it was COVID, right? So there was no option. I couldn't put him in a home. I couldn't get people to come in because we're all standing in a circle and eating outside, inside, and all
Social
sorts of
distance.
genius ideas. But therefore, everyone was afraid. Oh, I can't come in. So I had to do it for the first month, and then my sister came in and we got help, and Tony. But here's the thing that he says: it turned out to be one of the greatest experiences of my life. Right. So now you combine that. I just can't do it anymore. Okay,
Here's that
well,
word
take a
again.
step back. Not only, like he says, because I did that. I washed them. I built a habit trail so we could walk around the house. But you can do it. And not only that, you may want to do it, right? And then once you change that thought to what he says, putting it was the greatest experience of my life first, and then figuring out how to get there. And if you look at it that way, it all changes. My niece can come. My nephew can come. My neighbor loves my dad. He could show up once in a while. And before you know it, you got a manageable situation, right? Now, this is Steve Oliveri.
Steve Oliveri, everybody.
He's extremely handsome.
Yes.
And bold. You're bold. But remember, as your dad went, I was like feeding you advice. But tell your father's story about how clear he made the decision for you
to take care of whom?
His father.
It was about 10 years ago, and I was very active about wanting to sell his house. And I brought some real estate people in to sell his house, and we get some estimates and stuff like that. And my dad was when I was in trouble, my dad would get me by myself. And do that.
You were in trouble?
Many times I was in trouble growing up.
His dad was a very cut and dry guy.
Yeah, he was very cut and dry. So, basically he's very religious. He didn't want me to ask him for money, and he told me never to bring home police or any pregnant women.
Yes.
So.
That was
all right. So
that was some of those rules.
You were given clear instructions. No women, no pregnant women.
Pregnant women.
Regular women, fine. I mean, regular women, unpregnated women. Okay.
No
all right.
police.
And no police.
No police, and don't ask him for money.
Right. And
Don't ask me
basically,
for money.
yeah, if you stay in the house, you get a job.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I like those rules.
But it was very easy and clear. When
Yeah, very precise.
The time I tackled your mom and we were rolling around the floor.
Yes.
He comes walking in and he's like, "Why is your friend on top of mom?" It was pretty funny. That's another story.
That's
But
another
go
story.
ahead. So
anyway,
let's get into that one.
Yeah,
So-
you would like that one, Pat.
Why is Arthur on top of mom?
So how did he make
Again.
it very clear of what his wishes were?
So 10 years ago, I was by myself in my house about 10 years ago, and nobody was around. And he's in the kitchen. He's got a cane with him, and he's like, "Hey, I want to talk to you." And he gives me one of these. This is how it was going to go down.
Two eyes.
It's
like I'm watching you.
And I'm like, oh
like
my
Robert
God.
De Niro.
I'm like 19 again. I did something wrong.
Yeah,
I'm upset at mom. And he's like, "Look at me when I talk to you." So he's like, "Look, I worked 2 jobs my whole life. I took care of your mother to the day she died." He goes to me, and I'm going to go out the way I want to go out. And he goes to me, "I ain't selling my house. So let's just stop that conversation about selling the house." He's like, "You're looking at me?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "When I go, you're going to cart me out of my house. That's how I'm going." He takes his hand, he shoves it into my chest as best he could. And I'm like, "Oh my God, this is like I'm 20 again."
Now, do you know that he is not well at this point?
Oh,
do you know
he
it's-
was getting elderly. He's
Right.
starting, but he still had his wits about him. He would come and go with the wits and stuff. So I'm like, "Okay, Dad." And that was it. The next day, I called my brother up. I said, "We're carting Dad out of the house." I said,
Not
whatever,
today,
I
but
said, whatever.
someday in the future.
When it happens, it's going to happen. And I said to him, "I'm never bringing up the conversation again about asking him to sell his house." So my brother's like, "Okay, we're going to do it." Right. And he had some memory loss things and already from his trial.
Well, wait, let me cut you off for a second, because in that I can't take care of him anymore. Neither one of us really had a choice. Steve's father told you something, you were like, "Okie dokie."
right.
That guy's going out with his boots on,
Yes,
man.
yes.
And he did.
Yeah.
But So here's the thing, right? So neither one of us had the choice that Jim Brewer was courageous enough to address and make a decision. We found out that it could be the greatest experience of your life.
Right.
So the message is to consider that part, right? So as I had gone through it. So me and Steve, and we talk about, well, we talk about God, we talk about
talk about it all
stuff that you can't talk about on here.
We should remind folks, by the way, that Steve Oliveri was the gentleman that you were visiting.
Oh yeah.
When you learned of a choking incident of a 7-year-old, gave you the inspiration to invent the LifeVac.
Yeah.
And Steve, you've been on before, but let's remind the listener. Did that surprise you at all?
Of the
tenacity, the stick-to-itiveness, the amazing mind of Arthur Lee.
Oh, well, it was like
saying,
I've seen a bunch of other fabulous inventions from Mr. Lee, but
right.
that day that I told him the story, the next day, literally on my cell phone was pictures of it was a
suction
gun
device
that would pull wax out of your ears, and he put a mask on it.
It was an early design.
Yes.
Didn't work out.
And I'm like, what is that? And he's
Yeah,
like,
but if you whittle it down, that was all because of Jackie. Because I knew a 7-year-old could die. I knew she could die. I said, no, that's not happening.
Jackie Lee,
I
your
had no
daughter.
giant plans until the devil and the angel. But to stick to this, right? So, Steve would face things. I'd say, get the camera. You can have it on your cell phone. And that worked great because you could talk to your dad. My dad wasn't
right.
Eventually.
So Arthur, the story itself about the product was an amazing thing because Arthur, right from that story, never got off track on it. And I was like, oh, whatever. Here we are today. Almost 4,500 saved lives.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Good luck.
But with my dad, Arthur had some traction on it, and he told me cameras put in the house and this, and I did all that, and I got conversations of squirrels coming up the side.
What was in the attic? People or raccoons were in the attic?
The raccoons, and we had
people.
We had people living in there too. We had some things.
Wait.
Back up a second.
Renters or squatters?
Squatters? How'd they get in the attic?
Well, he thought
Jehovah's
there was,
Witness.
He thought there were people.
He thought there was people upstairs.
I got you.
Yeah.
Now, once again, this goes into what Brewer said about and why it's easy to go, I can't do it. There's a lot of challenges you're going to face.
No doubt.
I watched Andy Griffith every day for 24 hours, and
they didn't cover the stuff.
You have to go, I'm going to watch a lot of Andy Griffith today. And I watched it at 3:00 in the morning when he had eggs, and there was holding him and carrying him and all those things. But if you look into what Brewer's saying and look what Steve and I went through, wouldn't change it for the world, right? And then here's the other thing. If you change that language, you say, I'm going to do this. You'd be surprised at how many things can help you, right? Like the cameras or the mats that beep, the bed rails.
It's all a matter of how you look at it. If you get to do it, if you have that opportunity, you're absolutely right. You take advantage of it, because a lot of folks, I didn't have that opportunity. My dad died tragically, so I didn't have the option of making decisions, spending time. I did with my mom, though. And I know, Pat, you as well, almost the same story.
Yeah, but my mom went pretty quick though. So, but yeah, I would have done anything for her, whatever she wanted to do.
Right.
But
we have to be conscious of the new generation, and the sense of this maybe seem overwhelming. But the other thing I think he says that's so goes, it makes your head explode. How hard is it? You can wash him, you can feed him. We get so afraid. I had to take care of my father-in-law last freaking 5 days of his life, and he went fast, and I was learning how to roll him on a bed and clean him. But you know what? You could do it, right? And me and you would have we had a lot of fun with the people in the attic.
Yeah, we had
Weren't
some
there
fun.
people coming in through the window?
Dogs came up the side of the house.
Dogs,
people visited
it's like
every
anything.
now and then.
It's intimidating when you start it, like any job or any chore.
Right.
And then you look back and go, I was afraid to do that.
Right.
I could do that again.
But that's the David and Goliath message here, that consider your out. Can't it right away. Don't say I have to put them somewhere, right? You may, right? Obviously, there are conditions in lives that we cannot, make that sacrifice. But if we go into it saying, this could be the greatest experience of my life, how can I do it? I can do cameras, I can do neighbors, I can do friends, I can do some aides, I can do some, and we start breaking it down. And before you know it, it's a manageable situation. And, I had some great moments sitting with my dad.
So I was going to add in too. It's like, you always want more time with them when they're gone.
Right.
You wish you could have done this or done that. You're doing the right thing. You're spending time with them. Now, sometimes you're not getting anything back, but it's totally worth it. That's why you're there.
Do you get that?
Of course. But I find that as the time goes on and they're not around, it hurts more than an immediate. Like I find it hurts more now.
Right, but
than it
that's
does
where you
then.
got to fend it off
Yeah.
with the gratitude that
Right.
you had them, and that's another
Well-
episode. But here, think of this: do you feel in that time when we were, people in the attic, we were
Mhm.
watching them on cameras and all that, and take them to $9 million doctors?
Right.
Did you have moments like you and him riding in the car?
Oh yeah. There
Do
was
you have one that sticks in your head?
the day he died.
Yeah.
The day he died, he wanted to watch the Mets. They were playing Philly. It was supposed to wake him up. And
The Mets killed another person.
Yeah.
How
That's
dare
what
you.
that's for. Bring clarity to these issues.
So, I looked in the camera and he was on the bathroom floor.
Mm.
And I ran over there with my son and we did CPR, called 911. He never came back,
Wow.
But that night, we called, the mortician came in and they took him. And as I'm walking, as he's coming down the stairs, it's kind of horrible. He's in a body bag and stuff like that. And there's beauty in the whole thing because as we're walking out of the house, I'm next to my brother and there's Dad. And we carted him out of the
Yep.
house.
Got his wish.
Exactly
Got
what he
his wish.
wished.
And so he got his wish. And
Yeah, but I
Wow.
just gave
You're
him
listening to
chills.
Steve
Yeah.
Oliveri,
Oh, yeah, go ahead,
Arthur
take a
Lee,
break.
Patrick O'Rourke, and I'm Rick Fatscher, and you're listening to The Man in the Arena, and we're going to be back with more of caring for our elderly. And sorry, Can't is Alive. We'll talk about the website where you can get your own copy after this message.
She started to choke on a piece of candy.
She wasn't breathing.
Then Ray reached for the LifeVac and it saved her.
She could have easily died that day. A LifeVac saved her life. What I would say is don't need a LifeVac and not have it. Have a LifeVac and hopefully never need it.
Recently, the American Red Cross has added anti-choking devices as an option when standard protocol fails or is not feasible.
Go to lifevac.net or call 877-543-3822.
Yes.
Pat always tries to guess.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to The Man in the Arena. I'm Rick Fatscher, along with Arthur Lee, Steve Oliveri, and Patrick O'Rourke. And before the break, we were talking about a very, poignant moment in Steve's life.
What a
Very
kind of
poignant.
odd break.
Yeah.
That's a real break.
Parting.
But you know what?
Taking
That's
Dad
cool.
out.
Knowing your father, he was never more proud than that moment, right? He told you what he wanted. The
Yep.
two boys did it, and
You
he
delivered
left
it
the
for
way he
him.
Yep.
wanted. And
Yep.
that's another thing we have to keep in mind. And he Brewer alludes to it, and I know I faced it because my dad was like, "Please," he wanted me there, and he was very reluctant to other people, and then he wound up loving it because he gave him food and stuff. But the fear, right? I don't want someone else in here. I don't want someone else to take care of me, and that dissipates as you kind of show them the faith. Like, I'm here. It's gonna be all right. I won't be here Wednesday. So and so. I'll be here when you meet them, and all those things that we feel prevent us from doing this aren't so bad. It'll go away. Like,
Yep.
you felt that wave coming, right? And we talked about it, what was coming next.
Mhm.
But your father left on his own terms.
Yeah, he left
Just-
on
just
his own
pretty much told you what was going on.
That's how he
Pat
lived
said
his life, right?
The Mets
Oh,
have
yeah,
killed many
yeah,
people,
yeah.
but the
I don't know if that's the appropriate time to bring sports into this. I'm just saying. It'd be nice
Well,
if
it's
there
the
were more
Mets.
harmony.
No, it's the Mets.
No,
his
more
mom
harmony.
was a huge
Oh, I-
Dodger fan. My dad
Huge.
was a Dodger fan. They became Met fans, so
Yeah.
we kind of had that in our repertoire
Yep.
of battling and talking about them and remembering them. But
We talked earlier, Arthur, about how long, because we were comparing stories about that time, and it's such a great month. You said it was about a month and a half
by myself,
by yourself. Yeah.
because my sister was a doctor, she was on frontline COVID. So
Yes.
she,
COVID
they were
really
scaring the crap
affected-
out of us that she couldn't come over.
Yeah. Did COVID affect
No,
your
he was
dad's
there
passing or was
No,
before?
we went in and out of the house, and he stood there. He didn't travel around or anything
Mhm.
like that. But no.
Yeah.
I mean, I would do anything so that he would never have to go anywhere. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But even
Oh, you know what? I just
even
hit
towards
me.
the end, I wasn't bringing him anywhere anyway.
Mhm.
One of my memories was because I bought the fireboat. Remember, you came.
Yes.
So
Fireboat.
yeah, I it was a used fireboat that had like a landing craft, like when you
Yeah,
invade D-Day.
You pretend like this is a common thing.
Yeah,
for
like
people
every-
to buy.
Well, yeah,
Those are them naturally.
I have two of them. Yeah,
Haven't you
yeah,
had a
I thought you
fireboat?
did.
Yeah, we all got
I remember.
fireboats. Come on.
Remember that time we all took our fireboats out?
I have an airport fire truck. Everyone has one of them, right? Oh, yellow, not red. Yeah.
My dad loved to be a boater. He loved to be on the water. And, you know, when you're in a wheelchair, getting someone in a boat is
Next to impossible.
really difficult, you know, and dangerous. So we found a used fireboat that came down with like a landing craft. And then me and Singer built a ramp. So we could
Mike
wheel
Singer.
him right on the boat.
Yep.
So I pull the boat up. And it was cool. It has the lights and everything. So
You could storm Normandy. You know,
Yeah,
same
yeah.
type of thing.
Well, I would say to him, do you want to go for a ride or storm a beach? You know, he was a Viking. He really was into that storming part. But we took him for a ride, and Steve came to one of his, I knew it was getting to the end. So I brought Steve and Singer and my cousin, and, you know, we went out and we all were together. But on that ride, I have a picture of him sticking his tongue out. So, like, you know, when you fend off the sadness, you bring in those memories.
Right.
And I remember towards the end, I think it was just me, him, and Tony. Oh, I think Lee and Jack were there. I got him to the ocean. So he saw the ocean.
Oh, nice.
You know, and it was a decent day. It was kind of calm. We just floated and checked it out. But
Did you drop him out of a helicopter? Did you design some kind of parachute? Well, yeah, we did that, you know.
he was into the Steve was involved in the bubble over Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
He was gonna have to drive the
I was
trailer.
joking, but I
Hey,
guess
let's
No,
remind
no.
See, Pat, when you open up a can of worms around
No.
here.
That's
But
true.
let's
story.
remind the
Steve was-
audience of all that your dad accomplished during his life.
Yeah,
working
engineer.
working as
well,
an engineer.
You know, in the back of that is he helped put a man on the moon. It taught me
Amazing.
anything is possible. It taught me how to figure stuff out because no one figures anything out. But yeah, he was a lot of great things. That
Has a
he
daughter who's a
brought.
doctor.
Yeah.
Then you.
and a lunatic. But
Man who changed the world.
But if along the line that we need to educate is if you have the courage to take on this, even if you do it as long as you can, there are going to be these crazy benefits, right? Steve's dad did not die in a nursing home, you know, with
Alone.
the snow on the TV by himself,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
He was there. Steve was there. His brother was there. That guy went out smiling.
Yeah.
You know, I held my dad's hand
Mm.
right when he left, and I was good. He was his time, and it was cool. And I had the joy of spending so much time with him.
Mm.
Much as when he used to call me prior 100 times a day got challenging. And I would get a call from Tony saying, "Can you talk to your father? He hasn't spoke to you in a while." I'm like, he called me 87 times. Trust me, I'm talking to him. But so
Right,
what? So
right.
what?
Right.
Right? Looking back, so what? And Brewer hits it on the head.
Yes.
And we reached out to him. He couldn't even get back, but I would love to have him on and talk about this again, because the gift you get if you're willing to pursue, and it's if you take it and look at LifeVac, you look at something that seems I'm not able to do it. It's too much. Right? I can't make a medical product in my garage and get them from Home Depot and turn it into a life-saving worldwide. Sure you can. I just did it.
You did it.
And you were there. You'd seen it all. You saw my first earwax CO2 cartridge.
Great opportunity to
first
point
prototype.
out where folks can go. Go to www.lifevac.net. Please go there. Use the code MITA. You can get a copy of the book, Sorry Canada's a Lie.
Oh, we got good time.
Yeah, you get the book, Sorry Canada's a Lie. You can also get a life-saving device. Beware the knockoffs. Beware the counterfeits. Go to lifevac.net and please get yourself protected.
You know, I was where we talked, and you remember Davy and Goliath, right? And
Davy.
the Brady Bunch. Well, Davy, that would be wrong. So I was talking to Pat, and I said, you know, the show is kind of evolving into taking the book, kind of philosophy of how we got to who we are. And I said, we grew up. What was your first show in your head?
Well, I mean, the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Or what show?
Any show that you learned a lesson from.
Bugs Bunny.
Okay.
Oh my God.
No, I remember Saturday mornings watching those shows
Cartoons.
and the Roadrunner. Yeah, but I didn't really learn lessons from them. That's the first show I remember watching though. But like the Brady Bunch, I mean, you know, Bobby Brady was an asshole.
Hey, now.
And no one came to his party.
All right.
Like don't be a bad guy because people won't come to your party.
There you go.
And to this day, we still talk about we'll be at someone's backyard and be like, this is a Bobby Brady party. No one comes. We still have that in our heads.
Yeah, but think about it. In that show, kind of,
There was always a lesson
stayed
in those shows.
inside
All
you
those shows,
not
there was
to
a
be a
lesson.
jerk.
Now
There
kids are learning
was.
on TikTok, which is wrong.
Which is terrifying because when they sit the guys on the motorcycle standing up looking really cool, they don't show the 14 guys that are dead because they tried that stupid move. But
and then even you try to watch a sitcom now or a show, and their lessons are stuff I don't agree with half the time. I'm
and I can't get
this isn't
through
a lesson I
anyway.
want to teach my kids. Yeah.
Wait, episode? Do you have an episode in your head? Davy and Glide, Brady Bunch, Partridge Family, All in the Family, anything? Or you just blanking?
Blanking.
Blank. All right.
Taxi.
You?
Yeah. Well, certainly I draw on all the shows that you've mentioned and a lot of the ones you mentioned in the book. I think the lessons are there. I mean, Partridge Family, Brady Bunch.
But is there one
Room
in particular
222.
that hits you right away that you remember? Like
Well,
I remember Bobby Brady.
Mom always said,
punching
"Don't play
guy
ball in the
face.
house." I mean, there's so many about. I mean, I think the Brady Bunch would be the most.
Do you remember
in
the
your
episode
face.
where Cindy's getting picked on? He
Yes.
punches him, like, and Mr. Brady's trying to be cool and stuff and keep calm. And
he was a little light in the load.
Remember when,
Might
remember when
have
he
been
used the
best
term
example,
stinker?
but-
Was it Bobby that was a stinker? And everyone and they
My brother
like-
Jimmy beat up a kid one time pretty badly. He was picking on my brother Michael. And
Yeah,
like
good.
almost put him in the hospital. So he comes home, and we didn't have a dad. So my mother and sister in the kitchen, and my sister's yelling and screaming. She's, violence never just leads to more violence. This is ridiculous. You could have killed that kid. And my sister leaves the room, and my mother goes, "Did you get him good?" She was like my father too. So, and he's
Well,
soaking his hand in ice. 'Cause
in my-
when you get someone, you hurt your
Oh
hands.
yeah. In the book, there's the 3 o'clock high story, right? And that was the way it was,
Yeah.
You might get in them.
Takes courage. Yeah. It does.
And look, folks, we're not advocating violence. We're advocating standing up for yourself on a lesson.
Everyone
that
should
was
get in one
wrong.
fist fight in their life
Yeah.
before they're 20
or 7. But
I
that's
got
all
too
right
many.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with
Well, you equate that 3 o'clock high story to an actual event. Now, when I read your book, Sorry, Can't Is a Lie, I identified not only with the references, the shows, but also the people. So I knew exactly who you were talking about.
You knew he was annoying.
You were told, hey, after school, this is going down. And you were ready. Knowing you, I absolutely know that you were ready.
I was ready,
You were ready, prepared. You knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, but
and
I wanted him beat up.
he
But
forgot.
when everyone was going to beat him up, I said, I got to fight with this kid because that's not fair. But here's the thing, too, that is relevant to what we did with our dads: courage, right? People say, oh, no, don't get in a fight. Well, you got to have courage to get in a fight. You have to have courage, right? There is no, you could pretend you don't like violence. All right, well, when I punch you in the face, that you're going to be scared. But not that we advocate violence. But when we
don't
think about
advocate
taking
violence.
care of our elder parent, we're afraid, right? And in the book, we talk about fear and that great things happen when you pass through fear. And you have to determine the fear of jumping off the Brooklyn Bridge with, I'm afraid to do this. I'm afraid to take care of my elder parent. So we have to address that too. But we have to remember some of the greatest things in life happen because you're afraid of them.
Well, even so, I always tell my sons, if you're going to lay in bed staring at the ceiling and going, I should have punched that guy in the face, you probably should have punched him in the face.
Right.
So back to you though, like if you didn't take care of your father and he passes away, you'd be like,
I should
that pain would hurt more. I should have took care of him. I should have done that.
Well, I remember copping out and fighting 3rd grade. It was the last time ever because I'd rather get beat up than sit there and go, oh man,
Yeah.
I should have done that. But you don't advocate violence. But the key
disclaimer,
is to
don't try this at home.
remember when you're contemplating the challenge of taking care of your parents, right? That like you would be like, and I say you do it. We used to make a lot of fun of shit
Right.
too. But get the camera, get the mat. You got this.
Right.
There's guys in the attic. Put a camera in the attic and show them they're not there.
You got to
I told you that we should hang out in the attic with them.
Yes, he wanted to come over.
And I thought that would be fun.
You guys did confirm there was no one in the attic, right?
No, there's guys in the attic.
No.
They were really guys.
But-
They're
but-
pagans. I
but
don't know.
You
They were
learn-
making
you learn
shoes. They were
beautiful
elves.
lessons. You see beautiful things of your parents that you never saw when they were taking
Yeah,
care of you,
absolutely.
right? Because now you're taking care of them. They took care of you,
Right.
But you got to laugh during the whole thing.
absolutely.
You can't like,
Oh, there are some
you're
funny
like,
moments.
Hey, Paul, Dad's got people in the house. All right, tell him to shut the television down a little bit. Have the party done by 10. I'm like, okay, Paul, I'll talk to you later.
Now, you had Paul and you had Lisa. I'm interested to hear because sometimes this stress of this situation drives families apart. It sounds like
That's a
both
fear.
of you got closer.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
definitely. A lot of laughs.
But
too.
once
A lot
again,
of
when you're
laughs.
contemplating this, you kind of see who's in, who's out. Look, And someone's staying at Jones Beach Hotel. They're coming in. I got beat up by 12 guys there, right? So not everyone jumps in. And you kind of want to make sure and not have animosity because not everyone can jump in. Not everyone's, could say you would. We got lots of brawls, but the one on the bachelor party night, that was awesome. But anyway, well, that's another show. But the point of the matter is, courage is you can understand fear, right? Some people just don't have the capability, and that's fine. You don't want animosity. Say, I understand. But it's got to be talked about and it's got to be felt. And maybe there's limited roles and there's no animosity. Remember, the big picture is one of the greatest things you ever did, right? And whoever can pitch in.
Don't get many chances.
No, you get
to
one.
care for a loved one on their way out.
No.
But look, the part of the Davy and Goliath punch Bobby Hint in the face is think about that fact that it could be good. It could be the greatest moment in your life.
Probably will be.
There's always silver linings. You learn from everything.
Yeah, but that's true. But a lot of people won't attempt it, right? Because they're using all these things that make sense. Oh, I'm shot at. Oh, I don't know how to do it, right? So take a minute. We use for what?
I don't have the stones. Some people just don't
prepare.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
That's understandable, man. But that's when you
cleaning it up.
rally the troops, and say, "Can you do this? I could do this. I can."
But like you said, you don't hate them for that. Just be like, oh, they don't have it in them.
No, absolutely. I wouldn't. All the guys that didn't jump in when I got my head kicked in, I was like, all right, just don't get your head kicked in when you're with those guys. That's all.
Seeing this huge parallel between fights and caring for our loved ones.
Yeah, I don't know how that came out.
Yeah.
But, so how's Fat Camp? I'm dying to know.
It's going all right. I have a girl named Heather. She must be about 23 years old.
Oh,
I have to talk to her 3 times a week. She's so excited and everything's super. And
She's
you're
bubbly.
Really doing a great job. Yeah.
Is that like depressing? for
Almost
you?
too bubbly. Yes. Almost too bubbly. Yes.
Like, take it easy.
Does she
Well, have
talk
you
in a
lost
way?
weight?
Yeah, I've lost I was already down like 20 pounds. So
Right,
I've
I
lost
knew
like
that.
8 more pounds. Yeah.
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 And do you
I'll
have
kill
to-
on this. If I have
do you
to
have-
answer to someone, sure.
You have to jump around and stuff, or is it eating? What is it?
No, I exercise anyway.
Yeah.
It's
No, I
like,
know you did. You always did.
almost no carbs. All your carbs from like vegetables and fruits. But they have they give you these supplements. They send you these packages of stuff. If you're hungry, eat this. Eat
What's
that.
the name of the program?
Hey, dude, can we
PhD
have
diet.
Heather on?
PhD
Yeah, if you have
diet.
somebody
Let's
call
have
us.
Heather on.
We'd love to
no,
have
not
them
this
on.
show.
No, not tonight. Don't call in now. But we should have
That'd be
an
a heck of a
upcoming show talk
transfer.
about it.
Weight
You got
loss.
it.
Because
Dead
much like
parents to Heather, the weight loss chick.
much like we track the lives saved, and we're coming up on a big
Oh, we could
milestone.
track Pat's
We
weight.
could also track Pat.
Which one
and
gets
we
the
could have-
5,000 first?
We could actually have Mr. 3K keep us abreast
Of
of
Pat's weight.
Pat's weight. Why not?
I hope you save 100 people for every pound. You lose. Get some kind of
Me
contest
too.
going.
Me too. That'd be cool.
We'll have to have a chart. I
That'd
have
be
to have a
great.
chart of both.
That'd be great.
But it's super, and she's very excited. But I was back to the Brady bunch. Another one I thought of was, remember when Greg Brady got hurt and he couldn't play on the football team, but he was the photographer,
Yes.
and he changed the game because he got the picture of the guy's feet.
Yeah.
It's
No, the
amazing.
lesson, but the lesson there is if you're not the star, any way you can help helps.
Freaking
You gotta
A,
help a team.
absolutely. And we all remember that.
Yeah.
The picture and the
Yes.
thing.
And they
and
kept
saved
blowing
the
it up,
game.
blowing it up, and
They
then
did not
suddenly
change the
the
game.
angle changed on
It's
the
unbelievable.
foot. Yeah, that's some camera.
And
But
then a
think-
lot of pictures of zooming in on a cheerleader's hiney. That was
Yeah.
That was Steve.
Right.
Steve would think of those.
That was
But
Bobby.
think
That was,
about
that
it,
was
though.
Mr. Brady.
But dude, that's
No.
Mrs. Brady.
that's a huge point because think of the subtleness that no one would ever bring that to light.
But be
Right.
part of the team. Be
Yeah.
part of the winning team.
Right.
But
Very
and
military.
see how and to show how it could affect it, not just be part of the team, Bill. And Bill's like, it sucks.
What does that mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And who knows who Bill is? Do you know Bill?
No.
All right.
But a family's a team. Be part of the team.
Yeah.
Everyone.
And you never know
We all
what
row the
you
boat.
do, what role you play. But how the heck do we keep that message going other than the Brady Bunch episode from 40 years ago?
I don't remember much Partridge Family, but I
No,
don't remember
neither.
lessons, but I remember the Brady Bunch.
There's a lot of business lessons in the Partridge
Yeah,
Family.
yeah.
And,
Danny
and
was like
about
a
the
shyster.
blurred lines between Danny the
What was going on with
but
Ruben?
also
He's always
Reuben.
around the house.
Yeah.
Reuben the
His
Bachelor.
mom's sleeping with him. What's the
Yeah,
whole
I
thing
don't
there?
Well,
Get us a better
weird
bus.
stuff.
What's going on with
Imagine
this?
if we went into Gilligan's Island.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
There's so much. Wait,
Okay.
you need a psychiatrist. I didn't understand that show at 8. I didn't even hit puberty yet. I'm like, how come no one's jumping on these girls? And I'm 8 years old.
Yeah. No, that was confusing. But I was into the professor. Like they get
What?
radio. Yeah.
Cut.
Static.
Actually, he would have been the professor on Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
He would have been making some
Had a
machine
coconut,
to get us off the
yeah,
island.
Absolutely, I love that crud. I was always making.
They
weird
couldn't
stuff
patch a
like
boat,
that.
but they could invent a
Oh,
washing
yeah,
machine.
yeah.
It's unbelievable.
A coconut radio system.
Yeah.
But you can't fill a
Yeah,
hole in
you
a boat.
just fix the boat.
They always
Steve,
got so close.
Come on, wait. Marion and Ginger.
Ginger.
Nice, right away.
Of course. Ginger, yes.
You?
Ginger.
Really?
Yeah.
Waist was like this.
But my friend plays in a band. Jim Bovich plays in a band. Marianne was hotter. That's the name
That's
of the
the
band.
song.
Oh,
That's,
okay.
oh,
Yeah.
that's the song. I mean, that's the
She
band.
was
That's
pretty.
cool.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
doubt.
it's not an easy.
That's a good
choice,
contest.
but I got to go Ginger too.
I would
Hey, Ginger won.
Yeah.
Lovey's,
All right,
at least
folks, we
here.
solved a lot of issues tonight.
Lovey's a close third.
You know what? Hey, guess what?
Oh,
You're on the desert
Lovey.
island. Pick Lobby. What was that about?
Guess what, guys? Time
It's
for a
so
break.
good that no one watches.
Time for a break. We're going to go out, come back. We're going to talk to a guest surprise
Guess
filling in
Mr.
for Mr. 3000.
3000.
We'll be back with more Man in the Arena after this message.
Ben Carson here with a potentially life-saving message. I may be a retired neurosurgeon, but trying to help save lives is something I'll never stop doing. Every year, this world loses around 5,000 lives that could have been saved from choking accidents. That's why I've partnered with LifeVac, a company based right here in the USA. It's simple to use, can be used on adults and children, plus it's guaranteed for life. Most importantly, if you ever have to use it in an emergency, they replace it for free. Join me on my mission to ensure every home, business, restaurant, and school in this country has a LifeVac. Go to the lifevac.net and order your very own life-saving device today. Thank you.
Love that.
Thank
man.
you, Dr. Ben Carson.
That guy is
We are
God
back.
on earth.
Yep. And we just listened to a commercial, at least here, Dr. Ben Carson, and the fact that there's any type of controversy is just sickening.
Yeah,
Am I correct?
Yeah, no, he's
Yeah.
him and his wife,
Salt of the
incredible
earth.
human beings. It's no. I wish everyone could spend the day with them.
Yeah.
The world would become a better place in the next day.
Dr. Ben Carson, shout out.
Thanks, buddy.
And this portion of the show we normally reserve for Mr. 3000, Ray Priebe, Cape Coral, Florida. He's called Mr. 3000 because he was the 3000th life saved. His daughter was. He saved his daughter on the Florida highway. And he tells us each week all the great stories, all the great numbers, gives us a tally, but can't be with us tonight because he's with
perfect.
family.
He's so perfect as Mr. God gave us that one because
Yes.
you know whenever I've been with him and he tells a story about saving his daughter, he gets emotional.
Mhm.
He takes his show up and talk about stuff role like he was on the Academy Awards. I mean, the guy is amazing.
Yeah.
But luckily his replacement,
Oh my goodness.
pretty cool dude too.
Oh, I can't say enough great things. We don't have time to say enough great things about Mr. Shane Forsman. Shane, welcome, sir.
What's up, brother?
How you doing, sir?
We do great.
So quick story about Shane before we go in all his accolades.
Oh Lord.
He is so the last day on our adventure that Steve couldn't go on
Alive,
'cause
multi-venture.
she was a little feminine, but so we were out riding and I took the bike and I was like crashing. I'm like, I'm done. I'm gonna ride with Jackie. So and thank God I did because
In the side-by-side.
side by side. So he's riding in front of us. He comes up over a hump, hits the thing, boom,
Bam.
Now I'm pretty sure that the people in New York heard that.
Yes.
Right. I mean, we're not talking. Oh, Louis felt that. I felt
The
that
earth,
a bunch
the
of
earth
times, but-
moved.
Oh yeah, the car shook and stuff.
Smoke.
So he knocks the wind out, and we get over to him. I'm like, dude, I'll ride the bike. No, I'm riding. I'm making. I don't want you
Amazing.
to do it. So the guy crashes, knocks himself silly, probably injured his shoulder. and he
Triages
said-
himself.
He said, "Nah, I'm gonna finish this." So when you notice someone that has that kind of courage and determination and commitment to what they said, once again, these are easy things to say, but when you see someone crash and knock themselves senseless and get back up, then they're real. They're gonna be next to you.
Amazing. He was
So,
like, "Get
sorry,
this off me."
I like telling about when you crashed. It's funny.
Yeah.
And then we were down.
Not the wind out of me. That was a heck of a catapult.
Well, he got to actually see me take two crashes because every time I passed him, I crashed.
That is true. Those boulders saved your life, though, sir.
Yeah. And then when the cactus too. I both times I went whizzing by you, I wound up in a cactus or a boulder.
This sounds like fun. When's the next trip?
That's pretty funny. Here comes Arthur. Where's he going? There's you go.
My airbag is a cactus. I can't wait.
Yeah. The rock.
In better news, Shane received an award for SRO of the Year for the state of Florida.
Second place.
I would say first runner up. There was.
Yeah, that's fine.
I was glad to see, like, when I was on my way down to support Shane and whether he's going to win this award, he already won, right? He already won. He's done
Thank
so
you.
much. He's done so much for the state of Florida, so much for his community, so much for the LifeVac. I just thought if there's someone else who he didn't know who this other SRO was, if there's someone else that's doing half of what Shane's doing, that's good news for the state of Florida. It's good news for the world. And we did, and it was great to hear all the great things that this young lady accomplished. And Shane, it's just nothing but better news for next year.
One last thing coming in, runner up,
Yep.
like you said, because second is not the appropriate term. So we went down and we did a charity ride and we donated LifeVacs to the Pensacola Police Department. And then afterwards, we got all done, and I was lucky enough to stay at his cool house. And we were sitting on the porch, and he says, I said, what's the school resource officer? You in the military, officer and everything. And he said, there was a school resource officer that had gotten a letter from a kid that said he was going to kill himself, and the school resource officer embraced him and took him in. And years later, the kid wrote and said, "You really saved my life."
Wow.
And Shane said, "That's why I want to do it. I want to be able to influence people." Right then my hair standing up. But then that's like getting in a fight with a guy who jumps in. That guy's doing it for the right reason, and he takes on LifeVac like a savage because he knows he can make a difference. How many did we? You got saved lives already, right?
Confirmed. We had the one from Chipley that choked on a chicken nugget. Actually went down there by myself that day because nobody else could go. And there's just a small little PD on the Panhandle of Florida. I think they have 15 officers. And the chief emailed me back literally 2 weeks later and said they had their first save with it and was very appreciative. So
He's
protected thousands.
So
He's protected
just like
thousands.
Heidi has saves. I consider her. A lot of us have our own saves. That's his save.
Absolutely.
And next year he's going to be the super duper best SRO ever.
What guys?
No
what
doubt.
is SRO?
School
Standing room
resource.
only.
School resource officer.
When
Okay,
Shane
school-
plays, the house is standing room only.
Sorry, school resource officer. Okay.
Yeah. So Shane, big
Yes,
shoes,
sir.
to fill, big shoes to fill tonight for Ray. Did Donna Yaisley prep you and send you the information that you need to share with the audience?
She did. Are you ready for me to read it, sir?
Yeah, buddy,
hold on. I
let's
want to
see.
guess.
I hope I do as good as Ray does. Right? I'll try to make y'all proud tonight.
40,
All right.
43.97.
Okay.
You ready?
You ready? Here we go.
Do-do-do.
$4,363, of which
Pat,
2664
Guess low
are
in the
children.
future. Guess low.
I
in the
always
future.
guess low, and it's always over.
I know, but that's
a great week still.
So did you prepare your Mr. Ray Priebe
Statement?
save of
No,
the
he's got
day,
save of
numbers?
the week.
I got him right here in front of me. We ready?
There he goes.
All right,
We gotta
do
let
it.
him go. We gotta let
Today, we have helped save 5 lives today alone.
Wow.
We have, which you just showed on there, we have 4,363 lives that have been saved worldwide. 2,664 of those are little people, children.
Children.
And the highlighted save of the week is a 71-year-old male was saved by Ohio Fire and EMS when he choked on a chicken tender, causing a total obstruction. The Heimlich was attempted. The patient was unconscious. LifeVac was used multiple times and successfully dislodged the obstruction.
Hey,
now.
That's two heroes. Our hero EMS and heroes that got light back in their hands.
Don't choke on a
people
hero.
out there.
And we do have the little story to go with it if you want to hear the story that goes with it.
Sure.
So the 71-year-old male was unresponsive at the time of the arrival and hypoxia due to patient skin color bluish and purple. Crews used LifeVac on arrival. Family performed the Heimlich with no success prior to the arrival. LifeVac successfully dislodged the food, and the patient began to breathe again on their own. Consciousness was slowly regained upon transport to the hospital. And then the statement below said that that LifeVac is still providing excellent resources to our department and has saved a handful of lives since we have onboarded this device within our agency.
That
Hey,
goes
now.
to how many we
Wow.
don't know about, right?
Exactly.
Hey,
Yes, sir.
awesome job, dude. Awesome job.
Well, thank you.
Shane, what are you up to? We just talked yesterday, and just share where are we targeting next? Where am I helping you help others?
So, Miss Tony and I, with Equal First Aid, we have all partnered up trying to get. Well, we will get it. It's just going to be a
There
matter
you
of
go.
who's going to answer the door for us first. It's the state of Florida getting LifeVacs into every single school in the state of Florida, like she was able to do in Texas with House Bill. I believe it's 549 in Texas.
Wow. All children now have an option. ADA compliant, only state in the union.
Always remember, Texas was first, but I bet you Florida,
June
with Shane
22nd.
Forsman's help,
Yeah,
and
I
Tony
can see
LeBate,
Florida coming
not far
up.
behind.
Yes, sir. We're going to keep on knocking. Like I said, all we need is one person to answer and grab it with a little bit of fire, and we will make it happen.
I'm pretty sure, based on your tenacity, that you'll get there.
Well, we don't take no for an answer.
There you
Period.
go.
No is not in our vocabulary, sir.
Can't. Nice.
That could be a follow up to the book. Sorry, can't is a lie. No is not in our vocabulary.
No, I
think
heard a
that-
lot
I
of
think
like
the next book was "You're Fast and Strong."
no is what women
That's
say
my
to
daughter's.
me.
No, that's not a bad title.
A lot in my life.
Oh,
Well,
goodness.
Shane, we thank you so much for joining us tonight, filling in for Ray Priebe. Did a great job. Hopefully next week we have either you or someone else of equal stature to fill in for Ray
I don't know if
Priebe.
they can
Also-
equal
also
him,
not
but-
be with us. But I want to thank you. And
Thank
Mike
you,
Rowe.
gentlemen.
What? Go ahead, Shane.
He's good.
All right.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
Thanks
Yes,
so
sir.
much.
Thank y'all.
And now it's time for Mike Rowe.
Take us away,
to
Mike
take us
Rowe.
away. Thanks so much, Life Hackers.
It's no joke when you choke, so get LifeVac and live. Without breath, there'll be death. So get LifeVac and live. Get LifeVac and live. Get LifeVac and live.
LifeVac and live.